What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Little Fat Mushy Toe, representing the WCIS. We can't inspire someone. OPP, only promote positivity. Shout out to Waterbed Health. Shout out to Uncle DV. And shout out to the whole WCIS community. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully, everybody's feeling good. Y'all let me know how's everything sounding before we get too deep into the conversation, get too deep into the show. The audio sounding good? Y'all let me know. And as for everybody who watches this going forward, welcome to the show. All right. I got to give, I always forget about the people who will watch it on the replay, upon the replay. All right. Welcome to the show. All right. Hopefully everybody's feeling good, feeling great. Welcome to the stream. All right. Welcome to the stream. Tonight we're going to get into a good conversation. All right. Let me make sure everything is good. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So, Yolanda, you watching on IG? Come on over to the YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in, or Facebook, either one. Either one. You could come in and join the conversation. All right. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a great week so far, going into the weekend. All right, we about to go into the weekend. For wrestling fans, it's WrestleMania weekend. For wrestling fans, it's WrestleMania weekend. For regular people, for everybody else that don't watch wrestling, it's just another good weekend. Shout out to all the people that still watch wrestling like myself. All right. What up? I love you, baby. Not like I love my guitar. Laura Guitar's in the building. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're feeling great. How are you feeling tonight? How are you feeling? And tonight we're going to get into part 2 of trust issues. Trust issues. We're going to talk about part 2. We got to friendship, we got to work, we got to family, but we didn't get to romantic relationships. How do trust issues destroy romantic relationships? I'm doing good, Laura. Can't complain, just here trying to do something positive. Just doing something positive, trying to a lot of people sit and complain about the way things are in the world, and I don't think complaining gets us anywhere. So I think it's always good to put your best foot forward and try to do something. So this is my opportunity to try to bring certain conversations to people and help people talk about things that they may not feel comfortable talking about. Sometimes people feel more comfortable talking to someone that they don't know because they won't feel as if they're being judged. They won't feel as if they're being that the person is going to treat them differently after they speak to them honestly. So that's why I love doing the show, because it gives people opportunity to speak their piece, say how they truly and genuinely feel. Indictment made my day. Who got indicted? Now, I want to let you know that I don't watch the news anymore. I don't know anything that's really going on in the world. So, who got indicted? If I could take one guess, I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume it may have been Donald Trump. I don't know if Dorito is supposed to be Donald Trump, but I'm assuming that that's who it is. Boom! Guess who stepped in the room to Cal? His mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. What up, Jay Clay? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, my brother. How you doing? Welcome. All right. Hopefully you feeling good. You feeling good. All right. So he got indicted. That means he's me personally, Laura, I never find pleasure in someone else's demise. I don't care who it is. I don't find pleasure in other people's demise. So God bless him also. God bless him too. None of us are above wrongdoing. So God bless him too. May he learn from his mistakes and become and go on to be a better person. All right. Jay Clay, what's going on, brother? How you doing today? How you doing? You feeling good? You feeling good, bro? All right. Let me go ahead and copy. All right. So yeah, tonight we're talking about I'm good, blessed. I'll be on the show in 30 minutes on the way home now. Okay, cool. No problem, bro. No problem, my brother. Take your time. I'll be on for a while. I'll be on for a while. So, Laura, let me ask you a question. How has I remember last show you said you definitely had trust issues. So let me know, how has your trust issues from the past uh how did they affect your have they had an effect on your romantic relationships? I people always say that you can't have a relationship without trust. Do you agree to that, Laura? Everybody that's watching, well, step to the front of the stage. All right, welcome to the show. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All right, come join the WCIS community. OPP only promote positivity. So, how do you think those trust issues affected your your romantic relationships? Because I think most people will say without trust, you don't have much of a relationship. So if we walk into a relationship with trust issues, why do people walk into why do we walk into relationships with trust issues? When you already know that there's a great opportunity that they're going to fail. You already feel, we already know deep down in our heart, if we don't trust each other, infidelity is a deal breaker. Let's bring up Laura's comment. Infidelity is a deal breaker. So who the first person who made you lose your trust was a romantic relationship? Was that the first person that you felt like betrayed your trust and made you start to feel as if you couldn't trust people anymore? Was it directly connected to a romantic relationship, or did it happen? Oh, it's true. It's true. Acknowledge me. What up, Tom? Welcome to the stream, my brother. Welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? Hopefully you feeling good, feeling great. All right. Welcome to the WCIS. Tonight we talking part 2 of the trust issues, but we're talking about in romantic relationships now. All right. So yeah, so it happened with 2 long-term relationships that you found out that they were cheating. Nothing much, Tom. I'm feeling good tonight, just, up here doing my show, man, trying to make the world a better place through conversation, through good, open, honest, positive conversation, you know. And those were the first and the first time of those 2 was the first time. What up? Ashy Larry's in the building. The 4th hostman. What up, Ashley? How you doing, bro? Hopefully you feeling good, feeling great. All right. So tonight we're talking about how trust issues, how detrimental are trust issues to a romantic relationship. Last show, we talked about a lot of different scenarios pertaining to how trust can hurt, destroy, damage. First time I was 19, and that was with someone that you were involved with, or was it somebody else? And how did what kind of effect did it have on you going forward? Were you once you lose trust for somebody, do you feel like you can ever get it back? You know, once one person betrays your trust, and the second, I was 31. Wow, yeah, those are 2 very, very long-term relationships. So what kind of effect has that had on you today? Have you been able to heal and recover from it completely, or has it left you somewhat skeptical of people, of men, however you want to phrase it? Has it left you skeptical? Oh, my camera has decided to start following me now. I don't want it to follow me though. I want it to stay right there. All right, because I want to keep Prince in the shot. So don't be following me around. Don't be doing what I ain't asked you to do all of that, camera. Ashley, Larry, Tom, everybody that's watching. Uh, how has trust issues hurt your romantic relationships? That's what we're talking about tonight. What up, West Side Purpose in the building? All right. Tom said, I can't really comment in my relationship. My wife and I have always had a good trust in our relationship, but I will give my opinion on the subject. Okay. Let's hear your opinion, Tom. In no rush to have a relationship, I'm going forward. The topic tonight, we're talking about how trust issues hurt your romantic relationships. Laura said, I'm good with my own company. Okay, so the trust issues have left you a little leery and weary of interacting with a man romantically. Is that safe to say? Because I mean, I personally I've dealt with trust issues, especially when it comes to absolutely. Okay. And see, this is a great example of showing you how the effects of someone betraying your trust, it can have long-term effects on people, and we have to it can definitely have long-term effects on people, and we have to think about that. Fresh out of the hospital? Damn, I missed that one. What happened? What's going on, West Side Perp? All right, you already know my take on that, fam. I've been single for 2 years. My ex cheating took a toll because I thought she was my rib my whole time. She was a leech. Whew. Oh man, Westside Perp dropping bombs in the comment section. Yeah, bro, and unfortunately, it really be like that sometimes, and a lot of us have been in that situation, and it's a terrible situation to be in when you really love someone and you come to realize that they don't love you the same. And I can understand why a lot of people will start to feel like, you know what? I'm not going to trust nobody with my heart no more because I'm not trying to get hurt like that again. So I understand where you're coming from. I understand. All right, let's see what Ashley Larry says. I've seen some friends go through it with their other half. One guy's wife blamed him for everything because he worked so much. He had a hard time trusting her after that. Okay. So the trust issue completely destroyed the relationship because she felt like he was out doing something when he was actually at work, Ashley Larry? Westside said you was hit by a car last night. Damn, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm happy to know that you're okay. Were you injured in any kind of way? I'm assuming that you weren't too badly injured if you're on the WCIS with us. But my prayers definitely go out to you, my brother. I'm happy that you are okay. All right. The car can be replaced. All right. I can't trust anyone after her. I assume everyone has a motive. So I'd rather be single. F love. That ish don't exist to me no more. I'm sad to hear that, my brother. I'm really sad to hear that. Absolutely. God bless you, my brother. I'm so happy to hear that. Laura said, I'm not a you completely type. Yeah, I don't think anyone should look to another person to complete them. You should walk into your relationships. I think you should be happy on your own before you even. If you're not happy on your own, you should not jump into a relationship. You have to be happy on your own. Before you jump into a relationship with someone else, make sure that you're happy by yourself first. If you're happy, completely happy by yourself, completely happy, then you know that you're ready to share your happiness. Because it's not about relationships, is not about what you can get out of it. It's about what you can give to the person. And then hopefully they'll give you the same type of love and loyalty and trust and friendship and everything that goes along with relationships. You know? So let's see what Westside Perp said, I'm jealous of my friends that actually have someone that loves them because I've never had that. But it's not meant for me, I guess. Nah, it is meant for all of us. You know, it's just that sometimes we pour our energy and our love into the wrong person, and then it leaves a bad taste in our mouth. And then we take it out on everybody else throughout our romantic lifetimes. You know, sometimes it seeps over into relationships that are not romantic. So I wouldn't agree and say that it's not meant for you. It's just that sometimes we don't come across the right person, you know. But I think that not trusting in a relationship can cause love to go on life support. Let me start out. All right. Go on life support, and you can't fix the love. And if you can't fix the love, you have flatlines. Westside Perp said, "You sound like CDT Beats. I don't know who that is. He be on my neck behind saying this." Well, my brother, I'm saying it because I think deep down as human beings, some of us want companionship and some of us need companionship. I think it's healthy to have a companion by your side. And I honestly want what's best for you, my brother. Said the streamer, bruh, you know him? Nah, I don't know him. Nah, I don't know him. I really don't know him. I haven't watched. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know him by that name, but yeah. Absolutely. I understand that, bro. Yeah, my aunt was a Pisces. God bless her soul. I have some really, really important people that I love genuinely in my life who are Pisces. So I understand. I have a good idea of, Pisces do love very deeply. Pisces are very sensitive. Pisces put their feelings into it. So I get you, bro. I get you. But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. There's nothing wrong with he makes beats. He's been on here a lot too. All right. Well, um maybe I do know him. I just don't know him by that name. So what kind of detriment emotional as F? Yeah, that's me. And bro, it's nothing a lot of times people say that a man being emotional, it makes him look weak, it makes him look like he's not a real man, but that's not true. I'm here to tell you that that's not true. And if anyone tells you that, and a lot of times we were taught that as children, that men are not supposed to cry, men are not supposed to show feelings, and that is not a healthy state to grow up in. We're human beings. We have feelings and we have emotions. Now, should There's nothing wrong with acknowledging your emotions as a man. I believe that when you become emotional, that's when things can get a little blurry for men. I don't think that being an emotional man may not be best suited. But there's nothing wrong with being in touch and in tune with your emotions. Because if you're ever going to really find someone that you can trust, you have to be able to be transparent enough to allow them to trust you also. And the only way you could really reach true transparency with someone is to be in touch and okay with showing your emotional side. It's a difference between being a good man and a nice guy. We were talking about this on the show a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people say nice guys finish last, but a good man never finishes last. If you're a good man, you're going to be rewarded. You may not be rewarded by the woman that you're dealing with. You may not be rewarded by your wife. Sometimes you may not even. All right, let's see what my man Westside Perp said. That's what I was taught. Swallow that ish and move on. But certain women leave a chokehold on you. We've been apart for 2 years, and I still think of her because of what she took from me. And see, this is what this is the other side, and I'm so happy. First of all, let me give Westside Perp a round of applause for being so honest. A lot of men don't want to embrace this amount of honesty, but it's very important. And I think women need to hear the devastating effect that they can have on us. We hear about the devastating effects that we have on women all the time. But most men don't get out publicly and tell other people the devastating effects that women have on us. We're walking around traumatized from our childhood too. We may be dealing with mental health issues that we haven't had any time to really think about and figure out what it is that's ailing us. Where are we going wrong in our relationships? And then someone comes along and you feel like as a man you can confide in her and you can trust in her and believe in her and look at her as someone that you could be with for the rest of your life, and then she does something so dastardly that it can leave a man destroyed. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened to Westside Perp, but at least he's man enough to at least he's man enough to say and admit the damage that is done, and that is definitely a step in the right direction to being able to learn from it and heal from it and become a better person. And as you become a better person, you'll start to attract other good or great people. And hopefully amongst those good or great people that you attract, it'll be someone who actually loves you genuinely for who you are and won't take advantage of your emotion and take advantage of your loyalty. All right. Tom said, if you feel all those emotions in a bottle, eventually you explode. Exactly. Laura said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me go with what Laura said. Laura said it's definitely a two-way street. All right. And then I see my man BX the Great One with your Rudy Pool Candy Ass, aka Tama Tries. What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. All right, welcome to the stream, bro. So good to have you here, BX. How you doing today? How you doing? All right. My man BX the Great One is in the building. All right, BX, you gotta come and jump up on the show, bro. Come on, man. I'm telling you. I'm not saying tonight, but I'm saying we need BX the Great One back up on the show. All right. Um, What's up, her said dating her gave me PTSD like a mother. Yeah, bro. I mean, I've been there. Trust me, I've been there where I've had someone do something to me that I felt like, yo, I can't believe that this person did this to me. And it definitely took me a long time to get over it. It haunted me. And now I can look back at it and laugh. Thank God for that. But it definitely had an effect on me for a really long time. It took me a long time. But I'm happy that I went through that because it taught me so much. It taught me that first of all, it was my fault. When I was wrapped up in the emotion, I couldn't see that it was my fault, but it definitely was my fault. And I would, if I could, I would apologize to that person to today to say that I was blaming them for something that was actually my fault. But that doesn't excuse the way that this person treated me, because they knew that They were doing things to me that I definitely that I definitely wouldn't do to them in a million years, and it hurt me to my heart. But I learned from it, and it taught me a very, very valuable lesson. Very, very valuable lesson. All right. It's time to go one-on-one with the great one. BX said, I'll definitely join the show one day. Bad girl. Come out and play. Bad girl snipers in the building. What up, bad girl sniper? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right, we having a good conversation. My man Westside Perp, my man Westside Perp is the MVP so far right now because he's telling us, he's giving us a look into the effect that trusting the wrong woman can have on a man, and I don't think we hear this side of the story enough because as men we're taught to. He said it's wild because people will make you look like you're the crazy one. Well, you have to be able also in those intense moments when you're intertwined with someone, you're so emotionally invested in someone. You have to sometimes take a step back and realize when someone is triggering you, when someone is gaslighting you, when someone is pushing your buttons, and when you allow someone to make you look like you're the crazy one, you're giving them too much power. You can't allow someone to have that much power over you. That's why it's good to go into a relationship already happy. You don't need that person to provide anything for you. You want them to provide things for you, but you don't need it, because once you need something from someone and they take it away from you, then troubles can occur. All right, let's see what else he said. I supported her children, which were not even mine. She had 3 of them, made connections with them, took them on trips just to be cheated on, and robbed of my dignity and trust. Now, see, Westside Perp then added a different layer to this conversation now, because now he's added the layer of he took care of her kids. That's tough also. That got to be tough. That has to be tough. I'm happy that you're able to express it, though, Westside Perp. That's a good thing. People can use trust to twist the other person into believing their lies. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see what Laura Guitar said. Entanglements. Couldn't help myself, Tove. I couldn't help myself either. Yo, I couldn't help myself either. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I could not help myself either. So trust me, I understand. I completely understand, Laura. I'm not above it. I'm not above it. Trust me when I say. Let's see. I'm the baby boy of 6 older sisters. I'm the only boy, so I'm big on honesty and love, man. Absolutely. Her youngest was 8 months old, and now she's 4. I can't even see her anymore. I love those little. I won't call the kids monsters now. Hold on, wait a minute. He loved them beautiful little kids. All right, everybody in the chat, make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the conversation. If you're enjoying Westside Perp, being so honest with us and letting us know, what he went through when it comes to trust issues. But everybody in the chat, I'm pretty sure we've all dealt with trust issues in our romantic and intimate relationships. And what kind of effect did it have on you? How did you recover? How did you move on to being with someone else and being able to trust them? Once you stop trusting one person, is it hard for you to stop trusting at all? Diamonds are forever, and so is my man. Woo! Rich Hunter's in the building. What up, Rich? What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. He said he can't stay, but woo! you. All right. God bless you, Rich. God bless you and the whole family, bro. Hopefully everything is good for you. Everything is good for the family. Tell Sierra we said what up. All right. Yeah, but everybody watching the chat, how did it what up, Valente? What's going on the IG? Valente is in the building on the IG. All right, let's give a all right. Let's see. What's up, her? I love kids, man. Woman with kids never been an issue, especially because I'm a product of a stepfather. That's true. A lot of us were raised in one parent households by other people that were other people besides our family, our mother and father. So I completely get it. But that's the risk of taking care and being attached to someone else's children is that's the risk that you take, and it's a big risk for men to take. It's definitely a big risk, you know. I was having a conversation yesterday and today, and I say adamantly, you have to not let your emotions get too caught up because your emotions will get you hurt. Emotions will it'll get you in a lot of situations that if you had thought about it a little bit more logically, maybe you would have been able to avoid certain situations. Um, my fault about typing so much. Someone else take the mic. Nah, I agree with Tom, bro. Go ahead. It's okay to talk about it, bro. If it's something, I believe that it's something that's still sizzling in your spirit, and it's good to talk about it, bro. And other people have been through it. You're not going through it by yourself. You're not going through it by yourself. We've all been there at one point or another. Laura says she's been there. I've been there. I know plenty of other people who've been there dealing with people that pouring your heart into someone that you couldn't trust. All right. So let's go to what my man Rich about to drop a jewel for us. He said, I learned that what one person did is not the responsibility of another. I can't not trust my new partner based on what my old partner did. The new person hasn't hurt me. Let's give my man Rich a star for that one because I agree with that 100%. No matter how bad the person or the people in the past have hurt you, if someone else is coming to you and they are offering their time, their love, their attention, they have the right to. It's only right. It's only fair to give that person the best of you. You don't want to make someone else pay. And I've seen it happen time and time again where men and women have to pay for the crimes that they didn't commit in a relationship because the person has trust issues. So now you have to walk into that relationship saying, I need, the person is making you feel as if you have to earn their trust. But if you are already happy on your own, then the person wouldn't have to walk into your life and earn your trust because you've been able to alleviate those issues. You've been able to heal yourself. You're ready and you're in the right condition to properly receive the love that the person is trying to give you and give it back in return. But when your heart isn't happy, when your soul is in turmoil, I think at that point, a lot of times we automatically think the worst of people. We think that the person is coming in to to hurt us or to get something out of us. You gotta. Rich said, you gotta be vulnerable from the jump. Explain your pain and trauma. Set boundaries. Have open communication. All right. Joanna. What up, Joanna's in the building. All right. Welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? Hopefully you feeling good, feeling great. All right. Tonight we talking about trust is hard to talk about. But we got to talk about it. You know why? Because it's destroying relationships all around the world. It's destroying us. Not being able to trust a person. And that's the point that Donald Rich just said. You got to be vulnerable from the jump. You got to be vulnerable. Let's bring it back up. You got to be vulnerable from the jump. Explain your pain and trauma, set boundaries, and have open communication. You have to be vulnerable from the jump. You know. All right, we got somebody stepping into the studio. All right, we got a special guest stepping into the studio. All right, make sure your audio and your camera set up nice and good. All right, before we bring you onto the screen, we about to bring my man into the building. All right, anybody else want to jump up into the stream and join the conversation? Now, the conversation always gets better when you start bringing other people into the conversation. Now you get to hear other people's points of views and their opinions on what we're talking about tonight. And I love to be able to talk about these issues. And what up, Cheating Death is in the building, aka Just My Luck. What's going on, my brother? How you doing, man? How you doing? All right, we about to bring my man Jay Clay is in the building. Go ahead, knock on the door, Jay Clay. All right, Jay Clay's in the building. Let's bring Jay Clay into the stream. All right. All right, let's see. Let's bring Jay Clay. All right, what's going on, Jay Clay?
How's everybody doing this nighttime?
You sound kind of low, Jay. I don't know if you too. Hold on, man. Hold on, wait a minute. It might be. Hold on. Let me make sure it's not me. That's everybody in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear Jay nice and clear. Maybe I need to turn my volume up.
How y'all doing, everybody?
All right, there we go. There we go. All right, my man Jay Clay is in the building.
What's up? What's up? How was your day, brother?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. Can't complain. All right, now I gotta let my camera follow me now and put me in the. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, I'm feeling good, my brother. I'm happy to be here. The weekend is almost here.
Amen.
So yeah, bro. I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling good about the conversation too.
Okay.
Because okay, everybody said they could hear you nice and clear. All right, wonderful. Because I think so far we had Westside Perp tell his point of view of what happened to him when someone that he loved, he was in a relationship with, betrayed his trust. And I think that that's the side of heartbreak that we don't hear a lot, is the man side of heartbreak.
Okay.
You know, like a lot of times we hear about a woman being heartbroken, but men don't really talk about themselves being heartbroken because someone betrayed their trust.
Okay.
And I think it's a great conversation to have, because I think that a lot of people feel like men don't have these emotions. Men don't have because you don't show something doesn't mean that you don't have it. Yeah. You know, a lot of times we're taught to kind of like keep it to ourselves, man up, brush it off, and keep it moving. But even men walk around with a lot of emotional trauma, and
Absolutely.
it can affect, you know, even things that happen to us in our childhood can affect us going forward as adults in our romantic relationships. So, you know, he was talking about, I don't know if obviously I don't think you heard his story, but I'm going to bring up, let me see if I can go back and find what he said happened. I want you to read it for yourself. Okay. And then, okay, this is what he said right here. Let me see what he said. Or let me go back and see if I can find what he said originally.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Here you go, right here. And here go the second part of it. So you can understand the premise of where we were at with the conversation so far. Hold on, let me see. Now, see, what you're reading right here is what we don't talk about enough.
Yeah, that's a lot to take on.
You know, we don't talk about.
What's his name?
Westside Perp.
Well, let me say something. Westside, I appreciate you sharing that. That is something that a lot of people, mainly a lot of men, wouldn't share that. So kudos to you, my brother, for just being able to share that on the stage like this.
Right. And that for for anyone watching that, men and women understand that, the type of actions that you have definitely have repercussions, and it can stay with a person. If someone's saying, what, this person hurt me so bad that, you know, F love, I'm not with that no more. I don't even care about love no more. That means that person, whoever hurt you, they left a real deep scar,
Yeah.
because I think deep down we all want, and some of us actually need companionship. I think deep down, God created men and women for each other. So I think innately we do need some type of companionship. Can you isolate a person and let them live in a building or live in a room for the rest of their lives and never interact with other people? Will they live? Will they grow up? Yes. But I think that there will be a big part of what life is all about that they'll be missing because of that isolation. And I think that's where we actually need companionship with one another. We feel better when we're able to take on the energies of other people and give our energies to other people and make them feel better and see them prosper and see them growing and see them, take a likeness to the things that you taught them. I think that adds so much to us as human beings, that when you feel like, what, F love, I don't need nobody no more for the rest of my life, I don't care about that no more. That shows that type of heartbreak is not easy for a man to just shrug off and like, okay, well, you just go find yourself another woman tomorrow. Guys don't guys don't care. They just gonna be on to the next girl the next day. It's not always like that.
It ain't always true.
It's not always like that. There's a lot of men that are left completely broken, especially if it starts to happen, if it happens to them as they get older. Because once you're left completely broken, it's very difficult. Imagine trying to go and start training for the Olympics at 56 years old. Imagine getting back out on that field and like, what? I've been off the field for a while. I've been married for 20 years, but I want companionship. I got to get back out here and start competing to find myself another companion. A lot of times men and women are going to be like, what? It's not worth it, and I'll just stay by myself. And it's happening all over the world.
You get that a lot.
It's happening all over the world. And I hate to say it like this, but no one wants to grow old and leave this earth alone.
Mm-hmm.
You'll always feel better when you have somebody by your side. That's why I really believe that companionship is something that a lot of people want, but deep down, I think it is something that we would benefit from, or to the level of saying that we need. I think we miss out on something very crucial when you take away companionship from someone's life.
So I have a question for you then, Tove.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me bring, we got somebody in the background. I just wanted to finish that thought before I addressed her. And we're going to make sure that your camera is good. Make sure your vocals, check your vocals, make sure everything is good. All right.
Who we got?
We got knocking on the door. We got, why you do me like Joanna?
Okay.
Joanna stepping to the stage. What up, JoJo?
Hi.
What up, Miss?
Right. What's going on, Joe? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
All right. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. God bless you. Hopefully you're feeling good, feeling great. God blessings to you and your family,
Yes.
And I'm happy to have and is really happy to have. I'm really happy to have a different point of view on this topic. We're talking about trust issues in relationships, and obviously we're men, so we're going to see it from a man's point of view, and it's very important to have a woman's point of view also. But before we get to your opinion on the topic, let me let Jay. He said he had a question for me. Let me see what he had.
So speaking of companionship, not wanting to be alone, where you gonna go get Miss Jersey Devil, brother?
My man Jay Clay done dropped he done dropped the bomb in the chat.
Okay.
All right, well, let me say this. I in my past doing the show, I have learned it has taken a real life toll on me when I started to incorporate my real life onto the show.
Okay.
Trust me, if any of you, y'all are on the show with me, but it's different when you're actually doing the show and you are you're interacting with so many different people. Me and Jersey have been very close in the past, you know, and we have a bond and a friendship and a love for one another that is really important to me. Sometimes when you're dealing with someone in certain situations, I think me and her, when we were dealing with each other, sometimes right people come into your life at the wrong times, and I personally and her too to a certain extent, but I'll take more accountability. Me myself, I started to incorporate real life and onto the show, and I don't understand how celebrities do it.
Bruh.
When you have millions of people in your relationship and in your business, it can cause chaos.
I can only imagine.
And even doing a little show like I did caused chaos behind the scenes because of my interactions with people on the show, you know. So to answer your question, I think that me and Jersey definitely had our time, and the way things are right now, I think it's better for us right now because of the situations that we're both in. You know, I'm in my own situation, she's in her situation. Doesn't change, you know, the closeness and the friendship that we have, but I think there's a lot of things that we still would have to there's a lot of things from the past that would have to be smoothed out before we could go in that route, you know, go in that direction. So
kudos to you, my brother, for being honest. I know it ain't
right.
I know
would have
it ain't
never
easy.
known. I would have never known that you guys were.
Yeah, I was just joking. I did.
Yeah.
I really did.
no, I mean, see,
Like,
I
I
was
never
just
know.
honest.
I would never known.
that's the thing is if I'm gonna get up on here and ask people their personal business, when someone asks me mine, I gotta be honest enough to answer the question. Also, I can't ask y'all, well, what do you think about all of these things, and then not answer the question if someone asks me and answer it honestly.
I
You
respect
know,
that.
I
so
get that.
You stand
yeah,
up.
me and Jersey
Yeah.
are super. Me and her are very close, and I think they'll, because of the way we met doing the show, I think that is always going to be a connection between us because of how we met. She was streaming and I was streaming, and we kind of like just gravitated towards one another. But when you try to incorporate that into the real life,
Yeah.
now that's a different scenario. You know, that's a different scenario. So,
You
and
do
I
know
don't really want to
Jersey is
talk
my
about it
boo.
too much
Jersey's
without
my boo.
her being here. You know, like I
Yeah,
also
Jersey.
if she was here, then I would probably go a little bit more in depth. But I don't, you know, I don't want to talk about her business, even though it's my business too. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
I'm
respect
gonna let
it.
it known. Jersey is my boo. Like, that's my boo bear. Like,
All right, Miss
we all
Joanne.
know.
Don't be now. Hold on, Miss Joanne. You can't. Nah, wait a minute. You just
Stop.
You just heard my boy working his heart out, and you gonna go my boo, my.
She is my boo.
I at least
Toby's my boo too, but like, Jersey is my boo. Like, oh.
All right. So, Joanna. So,
Yes.
what do you feel are the, you know, trust issues in relationships? Right? You have a trust issue in a relationship. Not per se yours, but we just speaking in general. You know, what is the downfall of having, you know, what are the downfalls of having trust issues in a relationship? And once you lose trust for someone, do you feel like you can get it back? 100, can you get it back the way it was before you lost that trust? Is losing trust 100% repairable, or will it forever be damaged after that?
So 3 questions.
Right. How does trust issues affect relationships? Let's answer that one first.
How does trust issues? Okay, it affects it because it's like there's always like a bull point on your back. Like there's always something on your back. Like, so like you're always going, like the partner that does not trust the other partner is always going to be assuming that something's happening. Like, oh, that cashier smiled at you way too hard. Like, you doing something with that person. Like, so it's always going to be very. It's going to be like to the point where it's like the person's never going to trust that person ever. There's never going to
Okay.
be any trust at that point. Second question.
So wait a minute. Before we move to the second question. So you're saying that once the issue has been, the trust has been broken, there's never going to be trust again?
At that point.
Well, at what point does it come back then?
So,
or can it come back? That's the second question.
Back.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
It can come back. It can come back. It can come back once the person that has broken the trust has started showing that they can be trustworthy, and they're no longer like seeking something else from outside.
Right. Whatever it is that broke the trust in the first place.
Yeah. So I think that's So that's the second question.
So how do you get, as a woman, how do you get to that point where you like, okay, the trust has been broken, but now I'm seeing a different point of view of this person, so now I'm willing to reconcile this trust issue that I have and bring it back. But now you said that you can bring it back, but can you bring it back to 100%?
Yes.
Okay.
You can bring it back to 100%. How do you bring it back after that has happened?
Do you have to do it, or does the person that broke the trust have to do it?
You have to do it.
Okay.
My phone then died. Okay. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we hear you so much better now too.
True.
Okay.
Whatever you just did, your audio is super clearer now.
So my my earpods just died on me. Okay.
Right. So going forward, whatever you're doing now, do this, because you sound much clearer now.
Way much clearer.
Way clearer. So whenever you come on the show, however you're speaking right now, do that.
Just do it that way.
But go ahead, finish.
Okay. So for the person who's been cheated on or whatever, lied on, they're most likely, in order for them to to trust them again, they have to turn off. When I say turn off, like they have to flip the switch to the point where they don't care about anything about that person. So they're just in emotion. So they're just dealing with what's going on, and they're allowing they want to be in the relationship, but they are not accepting what the person's giving, type kind of thing. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me as I'm saying it, but you have to turn off as a person.
So for the trust to get back to 100%, you're saying you have to turn off as a person? What you mean? Yeah, I'm not quite understanding it.
I know, because I'm not explaining it well. You turn off, your emotions turn off.
Right.
You become very numb. You
Okay.
become no longer the person that you were before when you were with this person. So in order for this person, so I'm A, my man's B.
Okay.
So in order for A to allow this relationship to go on, she has to turn off. Once she turns off, B is going to acknowledge that she no longer, maybe she doesn't care anymore. I have to work harder. Oh, maybe she caught on to what I'm doing. I need to stop. Type kind of thing. So it's it's a shut off. It's a shut off.
So you're shutting off to try to make your partner acknowledge what he or she has done. And now you're saying that hopefully you shutting off will trigger them to change their ways?
No. It's more of me shutting off is I don't care at this point.
Okay, so then how do you get to the point back to where you do care and love that person back the way you were before the trust was broken? Because now you shut down. You know that the person, you no longer trust the person 100%, but you're trying to get it back. But now you've shut down completely. So now after the person has broken the trust and you've shut down completely, how do you get back to where you were originally after you do those two things?
Okay.
How do we get back full circle?
So person A possibly does not come back to it. So she just it's just an acknowledgement. So person
So you're
B
saying
is
that
working,
the person just lets it go and leaves it, just completely.
not that she lets it go or he lets it go. It's allowed. It's allowed, and it's just like, okay, it's whatever. And person B is working so hard to make person A happy that it just becomes a
So, question:
happy medium.
would that be considered not being true to yourself, though, to just shut it? Like, because what I'm hearing, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's true. It's true.
If he, let's just say I was your man and I cheated on you.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to be able to fix it without you communicating to me, because you shut off? So anything I say or ask you is being shut down at the moment. I'm assuming at the moment for you to get your feelings in check. And
Right. Eventually, you have to shut back on.
yeah,
You got to turn back on.
So my
Right.
thing is, when you, I know it takes time. It's not overnight. So do you start caring again when you shut back on? Because
I think once the shutdown happens, the emotions change.
yes.
So the responses change as well. So
once the emotion changes, do they ever return back to their original form?
See,
going back to the original question,
Yeah.
can you get it back? Can you get it? I think trust is like a piece of paper, a fresh piece of paper. Once you crumble that piece of paper up, it will never go back to the same way it was. You can iron it, you can steam it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can still write on it, you can still send it in a letter, you can do everything that fresh piece of paper could do, but once it's crumpled up, it's forever changed.
It's done.
Yeah, it's kind of like a scar.
Right.
You cut yourself, your face is never going to look the same, but that scar is still there to remind you
of what happened.
Which some people
Which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, some people look at it as a bad thing, but like, okay, for example, I'm a drawer. I like to draw. A lot of people will draw a pencil. If they make a mistake, they can erase it. I, on the other hand, like to draw a pen, because if I make a mistake, it's there.
You gotta work around it and make it look.
I don't want to hide it. I want people to see the flaws in there. Now, obviously, with my significant other, if I cheated, I acknowledge that I cheated. Like I'm not going to not acknowledge that, right? So if I cheated, I acknowledge what I did because I was the one who did it. I need her, if she decides to take me back, understand that yes, that happened. I don't want it to be where we're gonna act like it didn't happen. Well, no, because then to me that's faking the relationship. If we're acting like it didn't happen, let's acknowledge that it happened. Right. I'm not telling you, don't deal with it how you want to deal with it. Deal with it how you see fit for you. But if we are going to come back together, if you decide to stay with me, I'd rather us look at it instead of leaving it alone, because then I feel like later on in the relationship, it's gonna keep getting brought up and brought up.
Right. It's gonna fester, and it's going to continue to haunt. It's gonna haunt you.
Exactly. And
right. It's like you laying in the bed and you see the ghost in the corner, but you trying to ignore it. But he there, and every time you look in that corner, it's gonna scare the hell out of you. But eventually you're gonna have to walk up to that ghost or that demon and look it in his face and be like, yo, I'm not afraid of you no more. Whatever you're gonna do, let's do it. Like whatever you here to do to me, go ahead and do it. I have to address it because I can't keep sleeping in this room, sleeping in this bed with this demon floating over us. So I think that once that trust is I think once you no longer trust a person initially, I think that you can't get it back 100%. But I do believe that it can become anew. You can renew it.
Yeah.
And when you renew it, it's different, but it can now provide for you what you still need.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have to adjust in some type of way going forward. I believe for me, if a woman cheats on, if I was to be married, I'm in a relationship and she cheats on me, honestly, I don't know if I would be able to stay. But let's hypothetically say I am willing to stay. They're not going to get the same me again. It's not going to be the same Tovi that you had originally. You're going to get a different version of me. It doesn't mean that I'm going to throw it in your face every time or try to down you or demean you with it. But it does mean that now I have to be a little bit more cautious with you. I have to look at you in a different way. And there's certain things that I know that I can trust you with. And unfortunately, so there's some things or one certain thing that I know that I can't trust you with. And the reason why I say I might most likely would be willing to stay is because I do believe that everyone can change and people do deserve a second chance if they've made a mistake. We're all human. We all make mistakes. To say that you refuse to forgive someone also says that you are void of mistakes yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure at one point we've all needed forgiveness from somebody. So to say I will never forgive you for what you did, I can understand people saying that, but me personally, there's also a side of me that's like, yeah, but that's not fair, Toby, because there's been times when Lord knows I've needed forgiveness for the things that I've done. And people have forgiven me. And then I went on to become a better person and I never perpetrated that act on them again. So I never made them feel regret for being able to trust me again. But that's very difficult. That's to double trust somebody. Woo! Double trust. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess going back to the question, can you like 100% trust them back after they like broke your trust? No. Then after we gone through this whole thing, like no, I can't 100% trust somebody because my thought process and seeing how they like respond and like treat me is going to be different. So
right, and
it wouldn't be 100%.
Right, and obviously I'm not saying it like that's a bad thing, because it's not. It actually shows the amount of love that you have for someone when you're willing to double trust them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot let that trust that you have for them seep over into the logic and the rational mindset that you should have for yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's because or like when I say that like I'll handle things differently or I'll move differently because like once you broke my trust, like, okay, like I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna try to trust you again, but you're not gonna get the same innocence.
Right. Because let me tell you one thing. Double trust is tough to do.
Yes.
But I guarantee you there's one thing, or there's a couple of things, but I'm gonna tell you one thing that's even worse than double trust. And that's double heartbreak.
If
you get your heart broken by the same person twice, now that's on you. And now the first time you could blame it on them. Even though a lot of times when we get our heart broken, it is a little bit of us also. Because a lot of times when you love someone, you ignore a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
So you have to depending on what the area.
Right. So we ignore a lot of red flags. So yeah, it's a little bit on us, but it's easier to point the blame at the other person the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But if it happens again,
shame on you.
Yeah, now that double heartbreak, now you've broken your own heart.
Yes.
I've gone through, a heartbreak twice, not with my wife, but with previous.
Obviously.
Hold on now. We've had some See, here's the thing. There's different types of heartbreak. It's not always cheating,
Right, yeah. Of course.
Sometimes a lot of
scenarios.
Yeah, it depends on the scenario because we automatically go straight to cheating for trust issues. Oh, but there's so many different levels of trust issues. But yeah, some people look at it like, I know some people have trust issues within themselves.
Right. That's
Because I know,
true.
like, look, man, me
You
and
can't
the
even
man
trust
in the
yourself.
mirror, me and the man in the mirror be fighting each other because, like, you know, I've had my heart broken twice by the same girl, and the man in the mirror was like, bruh,
What is you
didn't
doing?
didn't I tell you no? And it's like, you know, yeah, you said no, but you know, she got me. He was like, well, now we both looking stupid.
Right.
So let me take over, bruh, because you say it can't happen the third time. But I definitely do think that, you know, as far as the question goes, could you get it back? Yeah, it depends. Like I said, depending on the scenario. You know, because if we're talking like,
But get it back to 100%.
no, see, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna treat.
Yeah,
Look,
that's
I'm gonna treat it like 2K and Madden. When you create a player, you don't go to 100. You go to 99, bro. Yeah, you 70 to 99. In between that, you don't get to 100. But I definitely don't think that it goes to the number you allow it to. You're willing to allow it to go to.
Right.
And
So I ain't mean to cut you off, but go ahead, and I'll ask the question afterwards.
no, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, okay, so can I'll ask this of both of you. You know, do you feel like to be completely happy in a marriage, you need to trust your significant other, your husband or wife, 100%?
I don't think you
That
need
is
to.
that the healthiest form of a marriage is when you can trust them 100%.
You know,
I'm not. I mean, look.
no.
I'm really not trying to. You know, my questions. I don't want to cause a rift between
Oh
anybody.
no.
But I'm just
So
saying, like, you
I
know,
was. I was
100%. If you could trust someone 100%, then that means that your relationship is where it needs to be. You know, you don't have to worry about this person when you're not around. So if you have any doubt in your husband, I'm not talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. We talking about husband and wife.
yeah.
That's a different. This is a completely different level of commitment. If it's not at 100%, even if it's at 99%, don't you think that that's something that you need to work on to try to get it back to that 100%? Because
Absolutely.
that's where the marriage is completed. Like now the marriage is full circle 100%. It's a full circle. There is no gaps in the cylinder. You know, it's 100% whole. But if you leave that 1% of the circle empty, then that could be that 1% that can cause you the problem. You know, so I'm just asking. I don't know, because I've never been married. So I'm asking
Okay.
y'all for your advice.
Would you like to go first, Jeff?
I thank you, J. Clay. I will go first. At one point I didn't think so, but I do definitely trust him 100% right now.
Wonderful. I'm happy to hear that.
I do like. There's just like it's there. So like I said, that's why I was saying before, like it was weird because like I turned off. Like I definitely turned off in our relationship where I just like didn't care about any. Like no, okay. I didn't care about anything, and he stepped up and
Right.
put
Because
his
a person can change their ways.
yeah. He definitely changed it.
Right.
And at this point,
Let's
right now,
acknowledge that a person can change, and that way you can get to 100% back. You could get back to 100% with them if you allow yourself to. The
yes.
question is, do you ever feel like that person has? Do you feel wholeheartedly that side of that person has completely been alleviated? It's gone. They won't do what they did before again. Or once it's in them, kind of like the saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe once a anything, always a anything, because I feel like God has the power to change us in the snap of a finger if he chose to.
Okay. So I just said that I believe my husband 100%, but I feel like if an opportunity is presented and
Tread lightly.
He slips.
Okay. You said you think he would slip, or if he slips?
No, if he slips.
Okay,
like,
if he slips.
He might be able to slip. Like it's that opportunity. Like it's just at that moment, because I won't know what he's thinking or what he's going through at that moment when he's in that scenario.
Right.
So
now let's say if it was to happen again, would you be able to forgive again?
no.
No. Okay.
At
That's fair enough, and I think that's fair for any man to hear. Like, you can't push anyone, especially a woman, because as we know, as much as women don't want to admit it, women are fragile. They're more emotional. They're softer. They're more sensitive, and we cannot treat them as harshly. We can't treat women as harshly as women treat men. Men are built differently. We can handle it a little bit better. We can handle it better. We can handle a woman yelling at us, but a woman may not be able to handle as well a man raising his voice at her.
This is true.
I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying there's differences between men and women, and men can handle it.
So to answer your question about do I trust my wife 100%?
Right.
During NFL season, hell no. But no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, yes, I do, because
and that's wonderful, bro.
I do, because she has earned my trust. I can honestly say she's, and the thing is, without trust, you can't get married.
Right.
A lot of people say
you can't. It doesn't even make any sense to get married if you don't trust one another.
Exactly. So we've gone through our, ups and downs as boyfriend, girlfriend, as living together. And I think that it took a lot of trust building, because my wife, I don't know why, my wife used to be insecure about other women when it came to me, because I'm a friendly guy. I'm and it's not even friendly to be, because I don't flirt. I don't flirt, because how I look at it, the dating game is way out of control. So I definitely,
it's not the pool that you want to jump into.
I ain't starting over again. But, as we date, the longer we dated, I took time to understand why she felt insecure. So I had to trust that she was going to change. However, I had to get her to trust me as well, to know that as her boyfriend, I don't want nobody else.
Right.
So it takes trust to go both ways.
Yes.
Now, some people trust quicker than others. Some people trust way quicker than others.
Right.
I do believe that trust takes time.
Absolutely.
You gotta be open-minded. You gotta be open-minded to trust, though. It's easy to say I trust you, but okay, prime example. Tove, you've been doing this for a while now.
Right.
You had to trust in the process that it was going to work.
Right. I'm still trusting in the process.
Exactly. And I feel like you can't just open up one day and be like, "Oh, I trust the process," but then
it takes time.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like with anything, whether it's a relationship, your marriage, you as a person, anybody can trust. I do believe, like you said, in order to get to 100, you got to start with 1.
That's very true. Every 100 or 1 million or 1 billion started with 1.
So it just don't rush the process in order to trust the process.
Woo, bars. Bars.
But
bars. All right. Joanna, let me ask you a question. I think I asked this question on the last show, but you was in the comment section. Now that you're here on the show with us, I want to ask you. All right. So do you feel as if a person when you're meeting someone for the first time, you're getting to know them, and you're interested in them romantically, you see that maybe there's a future between you and that person. Do you feel as if you should give them your trust, or do you feel as if they need to earn your trust? They've
Okay.
done nothing to you. This is a clean slate. This person, you're interested in them, you like them, they like you. They haven't done anything to betray you or betray your trust in any kind of way. Do they still have to earn your trust, or are you willing to give them your trust up front?
So there's two answers to that. Like me
Okay.
personally, like you're gonna get my trust until you show me something different.
I agree
Like,
with that.
okay. So and then there's also like the next person where they do have to earn their trust, like because they've been shitted on, basically. I'm sorry,
Right.
but like
It's all
they've
right.
been shitted on, so they don't trust anybody on the top, like off the bat.
So
So
let me ask you this. So that person that feels as if you have to earn their trust, should they be dating?
yes.
Why?
Why? Because that's the only way they're going to honestly grow.
Do you feel do you feel as before you walk into a relationship, you should be happy on your own by yourself?
No,
No? Why
no,
not?
because sometimes you have to learn through the relationship that you don't want this and this is not what you want. So you
Mhm.
learn from this relationship that this is not who you are. So it
Okay.
allows you to grow from that.
All right. So is a relationship about giving to the person that you are interested in, or is it about getting something?
Both
What's your first priority? Giving to the person or getting something from them?
depends on the person, but for me, it's
Someone
gonna be.
that you're truly interested in, you have
I'm gonna,
genuine feelings for.
I'm gonna tell you, like it's both, but for me, as a personal person, is giving. Like
Right.
I love to make a person happy. I love to make sure that like they're satisfied.
Right.
So
So
that
now my last question is it fair if they're giving you 100% and you only have 40%? What you're giving them, is it fair?
But how do you know that
Yeah.
my 40% is not 100%?
No, 40% can't be your 40% can't be, it's not your 100%. Regardless of you can equivalate it to, well, my 40% is worth someone else's 100%.
But
Let me finish.
who's really
But
who's
it doesn't make a difference how you see it. It only makes a difference how the person that's receiving it sees it, because
the,
you're not giving it to yourself, you're giving it to someone else. They deserve 100% of you if they're giving you 100% of them. If you're walking in 50%, you're already jipping them out of 50% right from the jump.
yes. If we're doing it that way, like where the other person is judging my giving,
Well,
yes.
I don't even want to say judging. They may be in need.
But they're responding to it. So what if my 50% is what I think I'm giving 100%?
Then you need to go and heal till you get to 100%.
Well, how do I know that I'm
Communication.
You have to be able to, you have to be able to, and you know how you know that how you will know that you are at 100%?
how?
When you're happy with yourself alone.
Dang, that
Yeah.
jump a bomb for Tove. Somebody jump a bomb for Tove.
When you have, no, I'm not, I'm just, I mean, I'm only speaking it because I've had to go through it, and I don't want, I know it's easy when we caught up in love and emotions to make a lot of mistakes, but you should be completely happy alone before you interact romantically with somebody else, because that way you know that you're willing and ready to give that person 100% because you're happy alone. You don't need nothing from nobody. You good by yourself. I'm good. But if you walking in and if you're walking in broken, then you're not going to be able to carry your weight in the relationship because you're broken. Now they're going to have to carry their 100%. Or if they're walking in broken and you're walking in broken, now you got a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Because y'all both are broken.
That's
One
the
of y'all
only
definitely,
thing
one
the
person
only
has to
thing
be
I say
happy.
about that. The only thing I say about it is like the person might not know that they're broken or they're at 50% giving what they're giving. So it's possible that like you said, if two people are walking in at 50%, like neither one of them know that they're at this percentage and know that like they don't have that love for themselves, or know that what love it really truly is and where it is. So like when they're coming into this relationship, it's like they don't know. Like they just don't know. So like you saying how like, okay, this person's at 100% and you're coming in at 50, is that enough? You don't know, because like I'm giving you my all because this is all I know.
Right,
Like,
but if you coming in at 50, don't you think that you're going to be looking to receive from that person more than give because you're half empty?
See,
no,
hold
I
on.
think at that point I'm going to be expecting what I'm giving.
Right. So you're saying that if you walk in at 50%, you don't want 100% from the other person. You only want 50%.
I don't know what 100% looks like. So
100% looks like when you're happy completely by yourself.
So
You're whole. You're a whole. But go ahead, Jay Clay.
what if
Let's let Jay Clay jump in.
Joanna, you just said that if you were given 50 because that's all you know, that's why I say I agree with Toad. You should be by yourself because all you know is the 50 that you already have. Take time to learn the other 50 that you're missing. That is that because you're going, because the thing is you're going in a like let's just say you're going into a situation only knowing 50% of the situation.
Mhm.
How can you solve the other half if all you're doing is sticking with what you know? You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's being open minded. So when you're going into how I go into a relationship, whether it's a friendship or my marriage, from when we first started talking to now, I've always been open minded. I've always been open minded because I don't have all the answers. Now, I'm not going to say I've always gone in 100%, but the fact that I have an open mind, I'm willing to learn whatever percentage I went in with. I know I have to get the other percentage. So I was going in open minded to learn. And I feel like that's all relationships are, is being open minded to learn, whether it's learning about yourself or the other as well. Because a relationship can only work if it's a two-way street. It can't work if you're going in at 30% and she's going, or your other significant other is going in at 30%. Because then when your partner does something new that's a part of their 70, you take it as, well, what are you doing? Whoa, that's a little uncomfortable. What are you doing? Like, you're uncomfortable because you don't know that other 70% of them. You see, so and I'm not saying you're wrong, because everybody looks at it differently. What I'm saying is I definitely do think that you should go in, at 100%,
100%.
because I feel like when you go in at 100%, everything's on the table. I'm not leaving nothing out. You get you're getting what you see and what you hear. That's what you're getting with me.
And plus, when you go in at 100%, it's easier to walk away with your head held high, knowing that you gave everything, you tried your best, and it just didn't work out. But if you go in at 30%, you should never say, I can't believe this person did this to me. Oh, I'm the victim, because you didn't go in 100% yourself. So the other person was the victim. The other person could have looked at it as, I was the victim from the beginning, because I went in at 100 and you came in at 30 and you expected me to accept your 30 as 100. That's not fair.
Yeah.
If I owe you, Joanna, if I owe you $100 and you say, Tovi, pay me back my 100, and I'm like, well, I got 30. That's all I have. So you got to deal with it. You're going to be like, no, I gave you 100. I want 100 back in return. I don't want you to give me 30. You can't. You still owe me this. You still are in debt to me. So yeah, you got to give me the rest of my money. Well, you gave me your last 100. I'm giving you my last 30. We even, because that 30 is like the 100 that you gave me. Nah, Tovi, you got to give me $70 more.
Yeah, for real. I do my mathematics.
You got to give me $70 more, because even though I gave you, well, Joanna, you gave me your last 100. I'm giving you my last 30.
I'm gonna give you a last 70 ass.
Right. We even, you know.
Sorry. My bad.
Right. But you know, that's why I'm saying that once you're completely happy by yourself and alone, then you know that you have enough love to give.
Yes.
Because you're at 100%. And if you're really happy, you could be overflowing. Your love could be so abundant that some people have more love to give than others. But relationship, deep down, to be honest, I feel like when you walk into a relationship, you shouldn't be looking at what you can get out of it. You should be looking at what can you give to it. Yeah. And if you give that to the right person, it will trigger them. Usually we use the word trigger in a negative term. But trigger is a positive thing because you can trigger someone. You can bring something. You can bring that love to them that they haven't had before, and it can trigger them to say, you know what? This person is showing me love at 100%. And he or she has shown me that my love is not at 100% because they are going above and beyond and doing things for me that I've never done for anyone. And it's making me feel so good. So in return, I got to level up. My 50% ain't enough. I got to give this man or this woman 100% because they are outshining me in every way. I got to step my game up. I think it's unfair to be like, well, even though they outshining me in every way, my 50% is like 100. So they just going to have to deal with my 50% because that's all I have. Well, then that means that other person is getting cheated. You deserve, Joanna, you deserve 100%. From the person that you're involved with. You deserve, especially if we're talking about marriage.
Yes.
Especially if we're talking about marriage. Your husband deserves to give you 100%.
Which he is doing.
Right. And in return, you should be giving. And shout out, yes, exactly. Shout out to him. All right. You know, and he deserves 100. He deserves 100% in return. But I think the mistake that a lot of people make going into relationships is they go into it wanting something out of it. What can I get out of it?
Yeah.
Instead of what can I give to it? If you walk into a relationship and you really like this man, but you like, you know what, babe? I really love you. I really like you. Or I really love you if it gets to the point of loving them. But it's like the life that I want to live, you know, you're not making enough money. You know, we gotta figure out how we can level up financially because I want us to have a house. I don't want to be living in an apartment. I want us to have a house. So as a woman, instead of saying, well, I can't be with no man if he don't make this much. If you going into a relationship looking to give, you will walk into that man's life and say, okay, this is where you're at. Do you love me, babe? Yeah, babe, I love you. All right, this is where we need to be as a couple, as a family. Let me try to help you level up. You try to help that man level up from making $60,000 a year to $100,000 a year. You pour everything that you can into helping that man level up, and that's how you're going to get 100% out of him because he sees at that moment that you care about him so much that you're even willing to stay with him, knowing that in your heart you want and deserve more, but you don't want and deserve more from someone else. You want it from him. That's how you build loyalty with somebody. When they like, yo, even though the circumstances weren't beneficial to her, she helped me out. She helped me build my business. She helped me see something in myself that I didn't even see in me. And I'm telling you, at that point, that's where most men loyalty lies. Because they will respect you. Because most men are in the mindset of, if I can't provide for this woman, she ain't gonna stay with me.
True.
But if you like, even if you can't provide for me, I'm gonna stay with you, baby, and I'm gonna help you get to the point where we can provide for each other. We both gonna be making $100,000 a year. But just keep me by your side. And then I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you this much. That's the type of woman you cannot replace. Fellas, listen to me closely. If a woman is helping you level up and she met you on one level and then you level up and you on a different level, you are not going to be able to replace that woman. Because
do that buzzer right there.
Yeah, because most women are not looking to level you up. She's looking to find the man who's already leveled up.
Yeah.
So, ladies, I'm telling you, waiting for the man at the finish line when he's the finished product, that's a great thing too. That's a great thing. But just be prepared to be his girl on Thursday and on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Because he's not gonna be loyal to you at that point because you wasn't with him building it up. But if you was there when he didn't have nothing and you helped build him up, that is the best shot for loyalty. I'm not saying it's a guarantee because we all know in life and in love, there are no guarantees. He could still leave you. But what I'm telling you is when he does leave you, it will leave such a void in him that he will not be able to recover properly. He will be living an empty life going forward because no other woman is going to come into his life and provide that type of substance that you did that helped level him up to get to the point where he was actually had the feet to walk on to leave you. You met him crawling and now he walking. Another woman is not going to level him up like that. So, fellas, I'm telling you, I mean, on this show, I talk about a lot of things that I feel like women are doing wrong in relationships. But, fellas, I'm telling you, if a woman adds value to you, do not leave that woman. You're not going to be able to replace her. And if you can, you ain't going to replace her easily because most women want the finished product. They're not really willing to sit and build you up and help you get to that point, you know, unfortunately, because women have to look out for themselves a lot of times, you know. They have to look out for themselves because at the end of the day, if they don't have a man to protect them, they're more vulnerable than we are. So they have to make sure that they hold it down and have their assets and everything where they're not left out there in the cold, stranded, and can't survive. That's why you see a lot of women being strong and independent, you know, because they cannot leave themselves vulnerable. They're already women. They're more vulnerable than men. No matter what the media tell you, women are more vulnerable than men. If you didn't have a man to protect you and men run up on you, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Even if you have a gun, I don't want to be violent on the channel, but even if you have a way to protect yourself, you only got one bullet. If it's 5 of them, you got one bullet. I don't know if you John Wick and you can hit 5 in 5 seconds, but even most men can't do that. So, you know, we have to understand that relationships is about giving to each other, and it's hard to give to somebody that you don't trust because you feel like you're not going to get nothing back in return. And the last thing you ever want to do in business, life, love, or whatever is invest in something and not get nothing back in return. That's the worst thing. You put all this money in, Joanna, and you don't get nothing back in return, you're going to be tight.
Run me my money.
I need something back in return. I put $6,000. I put $60,000 in this. I ain't getting nothing. I'm not getting nothing back in return. Nah, you know. So, fellas, I'm telling you, when a woman adds that type of value to you, don't easily walk away from her because you're not gonna find this. You're not gonna find too many women like that. That's gonna actually help build you up. They meet you crawling and then they pick you up onto your feet. And that's in most good women's nature is to nurture a man back to his feet. The problem, now I'm gonna say what the problem is with the women. A lot of times they're nurturing the wrong man.
Boy, you better say that.
A lot of times they're nurturing the wrong man. They done bypass all the good guys, and I don't want to be with him. He's corny. He's this. He's that. And then, you know. And then as you start to get older, you start to realize like, damn, I did kind of like this a lot of. What up? Herschel Reed is in the building. What up, bro? As a woman starts to get older, they start to realize, damn, I let a lot of good men walk out of my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you this, ladies, just like I told the gentleman, a lot of on the internet, a lot of people talking about women hitting the wall. As they get older, they start to hit a wall and they start to feel like, oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. And let me tell you something, ladies. I'm gonna tell you there's one way for a woman to never hit the wall, regardless of how old she is. And I'm gonna tell you what that is. It's a one way that you can guarantee that you will never have to worry about hitting a wall, regardless of how old you get. And you know what it is? Get Married. A married woman cannot hit the wall.
You sure about that?
A married woman cannot hit the wall. She can't. You know why? Because she already has her man. What wall is she going to run into? She already has a man that adores her for the rest of her life. Women that are going to hit the wall are worried about, I got to find me a man before I become unattractive, or I'm not as attractive as I once was. You don't have to worry about that if you have a husband. Because you already have someone that looks at you as the moon, the stars, the world, everything, the universe. You can't hit a wall if you're a married woman. You can't. You already have your one. Women that are hitting the wall is because they out here trying to find someone before their time run out. But if you're married, your time cannot run out. You found someone to spend the rest of your life with.
I didn't think of it that way. Like, wow.
A married woman cannot hit the wall. What are you looking for? What are you trying to attract? Why are you worried about how attractive you are to other people if you already have your husband in your life? You can't hit a wall. The only woman that can't hit a wall is a woman who's married. There is no wall because you already got your man. Women that's worried about hitting the wall is worried about, how am I going to get a man before I get this age? How am I going to get a man before my looks start to fade? You already married. You ain't got to worry about that. Just make sure you keep yourself up and keep your man up and keep each other happy, and you can't hit a wall. But if you're not married, yes, all of us can hit the wall. Unfortunately, women are judged on a different criteria than men. Men are not judged strictly on our looks.
Thank God.
You know, men are not judged. Our value comes differently than just how we look.
True that.
You know? Look, I mean, not to call this man out, but let me ask you this. I asked this on the show before. If Jay-Z wasn't a billionaire, would he have Beyonce? I'm not saying he couldn't, but it's less likely. Because universally, Beyonce has always been looked at as one of the most beautiful women in the world.
She has something in her mouth.
Jay-Z definitely has not ever been looked at as one of the most handsome men in the world, but he brings a value to her that she feels like cannot be replaced by any other man. So a man needs to bring some type of value to a woman, where a woman, unfortunately, is judged on their looks. You know, how attractive they are. And if you're married, it doesn't mean that you just throw the way you look out the window. You should still care about how you look, but you can't hit the wall if you're married, because you're not looking for anything. You've already found what the women that are worried about hitting the wall. You've already found what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So if nobody ever looked at it or thought of it that way, anybody who watches this show, just understand a married woman can never hit the wall. Never. A happily married woman cannot hit the wall. She can't, because she's not looking for what women that are worried about hitting the wall are looking for. She don't have to worry about that. There is no wall. She's just, instead of hitting the wall, she's just cruising down the street with there are going to be obstacles, but it's not going to be a wall. You can't drive a car through a damn wall, but you can drive it over a hill or a bump or around a barricade. There's going to be obstacles, but there is no wall for a married woman. There isn't. There is no wall for a married woman. That's how you avoid the wall, ladies. Get married. I mean, it's easier said than done, but
right.
I mean, I want to make it sound as simple as it is. I mean, I want to make it sound simple so it can be, it seems more feasible, because marriage and family is starting to fade. So if everybody's worried about how good they look and how good their body look, and I'm trying to pull this man and I'm trying to pull that man, and I don't want to lose my looks before I find the right man, so go ahead and get married while you're still in your prime. And you ain't got to ever worry about your future. You good.
I will say the culture of marriage and family is definitely fading. So
it's fading.
Yeah.
And it's more detrimental for people of color.
Yes.
Because we need to stand together more than anybody. Because we are the creator. We are like, we create the things that make the world go around. You know, we're the best. We're the best entertainers, the best sport. You know, best at sport, and we're great at all of these things that they let us. They let us into certain doors, and we're great at them. Imagine if they let us into every door equally.
Mm.
You know, the doors that they let us in, we dominate. So imagine if they let us into every door equally. That's why we need to stand together, because eventually we're going to have to create our own doors that we will let each other into. We can't keep depending on them letting us into their doors.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we're going to be able to create the doors that we can let each other into is by staying together.
Yeah, not letting little things, silly, stupid things.
Right. If Jay Clay, if you started a YouTube channel and within 6 months you have 100,000 subscribers, you should be like, yo, Tove, let me put you on.
Fact.
But most of the time with our own people, we'll be like, nah, I'm not gonna tell him because he might steal some of my audience and it's gonna take away from my money. So
Well,
nah, I ain't gonna tell him.
I will say that. I will say I have no problem with putting somebody on to something I'm doing if you're willing to do the work, you know? Because I do feel like with a lot of us, I'm mainly talking about my people, our people. The ones that want to work should be getting to work, right?
Right.
Not the ones that just want to tag along and do nothing.
Right.
You know, I have no problem with opening the doors for my young brothers and my young sisters that are willing to work.
Right. Not just a handout.
Yeah, like, and I think that's where we as a people get misconstrued because, like you said, if I got all these 100,000 followers, and I know you over here working, trying to put it in the work, and it's just not working. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you in because you're putting in the work. You're trying to put in the work,
right?
You know? And I'm okay with that. But the ones that are not trying to put in the work, those are the ones I have the issues with because you're out here judging the ones that are trying, the ones that are making it. Oh, they make it and they leave us behind. Well, what are you trying to do for yourself?
Right. Yeah. You're hindering them more by giving them a handout.
Exactly. So I do agree that we should be uplifting each other.
Right.
You know, because
Joanna, what do you think about the you being a married woman? What do you think about the married woman not being able to hit a wall?
Not being able to hit a wall? I mean,
as a married woman, what wall can you hit? You're married. You have the love of your life for the rest of your life. What wall can you possibly hit? And when I say the wall, I'm talking about, you know, as a woman, you know, they feel like as I'm getting older, I'm not as attractive as I once was. I'm not as desirable as I once was. But you already have a man that desires and loves you. So then what is there for you to worry about? Do you agree or disagree?
I'm in the middle because, like, I think that at some points, like, if I feel like if I'm going into the whole marriage type kind of thing, the scenario, like where I'm feeling like, oh yeah, he's always going to love me. He's always going to be attracted to me. Like he's going to lose interest into me. So it's like, I need to always be on top of that game type kind of thing. Like, so there's always, it's never an end to it. If you want to say, like, there's never a wall that I'm going to hit where it's like, okay, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life, but it's going to be more like, how do I keep him satisfied and happy to the point where he keeps wanting me?
Wanting you how though?
Huh?
Wanting you how?
Like want sexually, like emotionally.
If y'all gonna be together forever, he's not gonna always want you sexually. At some point that's gonna dissipate with both of you.
I think no.
No. How long you plan on living? How long you want to live to?
I live, but I want my man to want me sexually every single day. Like that's
whoa. Every day?
Every day.
No.
Oh, okay.
You want him to want you every day.
Just like
right, but I get what you're saying. I get it. No, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying. You always want to feel desired.
Yes, I want him to be satisfied. So that I think the wall that I guess women as married women, like, because yeah, married women do hit a wall. Like,
What
we
wall is it?
well, the wall that we hit is like, I think it's more of I don't want to say competition. It's competition, like just keeping him like entertained and like in our graces.
Right, but competition with who?
The other females.
What other females is in your marriage?
There's no other females in my marriage, but there's
Other
possibly
females out there that you feel
Yes.
like he could possibly want?
Yes. So it's more of the idea of like just keeping him happy with me.
Right. So
So
basically
you
what you're saying, in competition with like other females pertaining on how they look.
Yes. So because you made it seem like it was like, oh yeah, once you're married, like that's it. Like you're content, like everything's good. It's not good because
No, you still have to maintain yourself, of course.
Exactly.
Right.
That's so the competition of like not competing, but like more of like being yourself and like elevating yourself and like just being confident, like to the point where it's like it's enticing to him. Not like putting on, like, if you never wore makeup ever in your life, but like now you start wearing makeup because you think that's going to be something that he's going to want. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like just being confident in yourself and just being yourself, like just enticing him, just doing what you need to do for him and growing on that marriage. I mean, it's just
I can understand. I'm speaking from a male's point of view. Of course, like I said, women are more harshly judged because of the on their looks. So it may be a more difficult pill for a woman to swallow to hear a man say a woman can't hit the wall. But I completely understand that, and I understand where you're coming from. But looking at it from a man's point of view, after a certain amount of time, if you've been married for 20 years, it's no longer about sex.
Yeah.
It's no longer about sex. Because if you've been married for 22 years and the number one foundation of your marriage is sex, is something wrong with that marriage. Something wrong. That can't be it can be one of the pillars of the marriage, but it cannot be the marriage is not going to last if that is the dominant pillar of the marriage.
Yeah, okay.
Because sex also involves emotions and feelings, and emotions and feelings can change. Desires can change, bodies changes, nature happens. There's a lot of factors that come into sex. But if I genuinely love you as my wife, and I genuinely cherish you as my wife, and I value you as my wife, there is no wall that you can run into, because you'll always have someone who loves you unconditionally for the rest of your life. So it may be, I think the looks thing that you're talking about, I don't think that is a wall. I think it's an obstacle. I don't think it's a full-fledged brick wall, because a man will stay with you even though you may not be in peak condition. You may not look as good as you looked when you were 22, but he's still there. So obviously it's not about strictly sex and looks and attraction and desire, because then that means as you start to get older and you start to look a little bit different or a lot different, the man gonna be like, I'm out. But it happens to all of us. It's inevitable for each and every single one of us that we're not gonna look the same at 62 as we did at 22. Dang. The only thing that you can do the best thing you could do to try to fight that off is to stay in great shape. A person who's in great shape always looks younger.
Yes.
Because in our minds, we don't associate someone with a great physique as someone who's older. You wouldn't think of, if you think of a 60-year-old woman, you wouldn't think of a woman who is in great shape, physically, like, damn, Jesus Christ, you don't think of that when you think of someone older. So one of the best ways you can do to fight off Father Time is to stay in great shape physically, because people will always look at you as being younger, you could be 50, but if you're in great shape, it's gonna be like, I mean, his face, he looked like he's 50, but his body looked like he's 23. So now the person is confused, like, what the fuck am I? Excuse my language, but what the fuck am I looking at? If I see a woman who's 60 years old and she's in great shape, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have a immediate admiration for her.
Mhm.
There's gonna be it's gonna tell you, it will tell you so much about her character. That means that she's getting up at 50, 55, 60 years old, getting up and working out every day. Because you cannot maintain a great body at 60 years old unless you work at it.
Yep.
It ain't just gonna happen, and a great body ain't just gonna fall in your lap. You gotta work at it. And if you see someone who's older and they're in great shape, it tells you a lot about their character right off the bat.
Absolutely.
It tells you a lot. It tells you that they are determined, committed, loyal,
Very dedicated.
It tells you a lot. And that will help keep you looking young and feeling young, because you're going to feel good. Going back to what I said, when you're happy with yourself, you will always be able to attract people. And if you're getting up and working out every day, making sure that you look good and you feel good about yourself, then that means that you're working on being happy. People are going to be attracted to that. If you was to see a 65-year-old man in great shape, even though you're a married woman, you're going to look at him and kind of admire it, like, damn, he must be a good man. Why you say that? Because he in great shape at 65 years old. You automatically gonna feel that way as a woman. You're gonna look like, damn, I wonder how old he is. He got gray hair, gray beard, but he's in great shape, like he a damn athlete. Because it shows that they care about their own happiness. Because you're not gonna get up every morning and work out unless you really care about how you look and it makes you feel good and happy. So, and let me say it before we get up off of here, I'm not saying anything that I'm saying is law or the gospel or anything. I have the wherewithal and the bravery to just get up and say how I feel. And in this world, a lot of people don't have the heart to say how they genuinely feel because they're so worried about what people are going to think about them, you know. But I think that we do need to have these open and honest conversations, telling each other how we really feel, and show that we can converse with one another. And even if we don't totally agree, we can still learn from one another and take something from the conversation.
Yep.
And that's why I love doing the show, because I learn so much from talking to other people. It allows me to be vulnerable and say how I feel about certain things, and people can call me out and correct me, or say, you know what, Tovi, I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, you said tonight.
Sometimes, yeah. At those moments, you
know,
even as a man, I ain't even look at it from like that.
Right, and that's why communication is so important. And it's also important to trust the person that you're talking with.
Yeah. Because
if you don't trust the person that you're talking with, you're like, you full of shit. I don't believe nothing this person is saying.
Well, we got a couple of those.
But and like, you know, just like the Janet Jackson song, it's funny how time flies when you're having fun. I look up now, it's 2 hours, it's almost 12 midnight. Jesus Christ. So anybody got any last words before we get up off of here? Because it feel like, damn, we could still keep talking for another hour, but
this is I got it quick. I want to call somebody out on the show.
All right.
The reason why I got trust issues is because my mama.
Okay. Oh, because your mama?
Yeah, because my mama, my grandmama, my grandmama.
We're back.
All right.
If they would have told me the truth about Santa Claus, you know what I mean? I'd be fine. They let me believe in all that. Boy said, you talk about heartbreak. Ain't nothing heartbreaking than an 8-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid waking up for Santa Claus. Put nice cookies out, got the milk out, and you know black folk could look. You know, back then you couldn't
be wasting no milk and no cookies.
Yeah, I'm out here trying. And they never showed up. I was so mad. And then, I think what really got me, you know, I'm passionate about this because you can tell my voice. What really got me was when they tried to make it look like I was crazy. But I got that off my chest now.
I'm happy you got it off your chest, my brother.
I'm good now. I'm grown now.
All
So
right, Jay Clay, let me tell you, my brother, I love you, man, and thank you for being on here with me tonight. Anytime when anyone jumps on the show with me, it gives me a different energy, and it definitely makes the show go a lot better. So we're gonna do the outro with you first, and then I'm gonna go and do the outro with JoJo. She's back, so we're gonna bring her back on screen. All right. So, Jay Clay, thank you so much, my brother. God bless you. I'm gonna let everybody know I am one of the few people who still watch wrestling, so I will not be doing the show on Sunday. Sunday is WrestleMania. I will not be doing the show on Sunday. I'll be watching WrestleMania, but the show will be back next week on Monday, and I'll do a Monday and a Tuesday show.
Real quick, can I get your? What did you get? Have you seen the matches for what matches?
Yeah, I know all the matches, but I'm gonna tell you behind the scenes about that.
Okay,
I'll tell you behind the scenes.
Get your predictions.
I'm gonna hit you up behind the scenes.
Okay,
actually, I might even go live after. I might actually go live the night after Monday Night Raw. After Monday Night Raw goes off on Monday, I'm gonna go live and we could talk all WrestleMania and wrestling that show. All right. Cool. All right, so let's hit the outro. All right, everybody, it's your boy Little Fat Mushy Toe representing the WCIS. We can inspire someone. OPP, only promote positivity. Shout out to Waterbed Head. Shout out to Uncle DV. Shout out to my man Jay Clay. His mama named Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. And thank you for joining into the community that is all about unity. All right, Jay Clay, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania.
Blessings to y'all.
Absolutely, my brother, and God bless you and enjoy WrestleMania. And I will be speaking to you on Monday, bro. I'm gonna do a show Monday and Tuesday next week. Next week, Monday show is gonna be a WrestleMania and Monday Night Raw recap.
Gotcha.
Right? That's gonna be the special show right there. All right, God bless you, Jay, and I'll see you on Monday, bro.
Yes, sir. Much love to you.
Actually, I'm gonna hit you up after WrestleMania. I'm gonna hit you up before WrestleMania.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna hit you up after WrestleMania so we can talk about it.
All right. Love you, my brother.
All right, my brother. God bless. Have a great weekend. All right, let's bring JoJo back into the stream. All right, JoJo, I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight.
No problem.
Your perspective is always interesting. It's always much needed. It's always good to have a womanly opinion and a woman point of view, especially when we're talking about relationships, love, and trust. You can't just be me up on here saying how I feel and what I think. I need someone to counteract what I'm saying. I need someone to disagree with what I'm saying, so we can actually get into a real conversation and learn from one another. So I want to say thank you. And let's go on and hit this outro before it already hit midnight. I want to get out of here before midnight. You turn into the werewolf. All right, it's your boy Little Fat Mushy Toe representing the WCIS. We can inspire someone. OPP, only promote positivity. Shout out to Waterbed Hev. Shout out to Uncle DV. Shout out to Jay Clay. His mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. And shout out to how you doing, like Joanna. Joanna. All right. And thank you for joining the community. That's all about unity. All right. Joanna, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And I will see you next week on the show. All right.
Yes. There.
All right. God bless and have a great weekend.
Bye. Good night, guys.
All right. Later. And then there was one. Oh, this was a good show. We got into a good conversations. Good conversations. All right. So everybody, thank you so much for joining in. Make sure you hit the subscription button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the notification bell. God bless each and every one of y'all. And I want y'all to stay blessed, stay beautiful, but most importantly, stay positive. And until Monday, it's your boy Little Fat Mushy Toe, and I'm out. Peace to everybody, and God bless. We out of here. Later, y'all.